All right, good morning, everybody. We'll get this going in about 1 minute. If you haven't noticed, we are still working from home, so that's where this Facebook Live is coming from. And boy, do we have plenty to go over as far as weather is concerned in this wonderful state. It's a good time to be a forecaster. Couldn't be more complicated. Couldn't be more variables at play. But before we get to all this week, we're going to talk about today. Somebody may see some snow today. So that's going to be fun. So, all right, let's get this started. We'll look at that here in a bit, but here we go. It's Saturday morning, February 6th. Comment where you're watching from, and we'll get this on the road. I think two things. One, the coming forecast over the next week, yes, it looks very complicated. And two, today, high elevations of North Arkansas. That's the best. That's the area with the best chance to see some snow. So we'll start with today, and then we'll move kind of through the coming week, and I'll show you where models diverge and kind of two scenarios on how this may play out. And there's been a lot of chatter about colder air, maybe some precip. We'll look at that too. There's a lot of stuff that could impact how things play out in the coming week. But we'll start with today. This morning, Arkansas is mostly dry, but we're also mostly cloudy. In fact, here in Conway, the sun is peeking out, and I think, I think that all this rain is going to begin moving into the western part of the state. And look at that, in eastern Oklahoma, there is a little bit of snow starting to mix in there. It appears on the radar. We'll have to verify that. But as we go through the afternoon hours, I think the best chance for a little bit of light snow is going to be in far north Arkansas, where temperatures right now are in the 30s. 37 at Harrison, 37 at Mountain Home. I think it may even be at the higher elevations. Now, Jason Delancey asked, Atkins, when are we going to break the River Valley snow drought? That's the longest snow drought in the state, is in the River Valley from Fort Smith over to Russellville and Morrilton. It's been a long time since they've gotten snow. I don't know if we'll break it in the next week, but certainly we might have a shot. We'll see a week down the road. The temperatures this morning are well above freezing. Temperatures later today are actually going to fall. We'll be in the 40s, I think, by 5 o'clock, and areas in North Arkansas may be in the mid-30s, and that may be cold enough for a little bit of snow. Here's Futurecast this afternoon, 2 o'clock. Rain moving from west to east. Some of this could be moderate at times, moderate rain. And then look at North Arkansas. It's the same area that always sees it. That's the high elevations, and I wouldn't discount a couple of the high spots in western Arkansas. But this is mainly high elevations of north central Arkansas. I think as the coldest air arrives, most of the precip is leaving. So this is not going to be a big deal. I think maybe this evening we see a few snow flurries north of Clinton and north of Batesville. But overall, not a big deal, and it's a quick-moving round of rain. So your Saturday snow forecast, if you can call it that, looks like this. High elevation, light accumulation is the main deal. No travel impacts are expected. Most of us get a cold, light rain, and then maybe out on Rich Mountain and Mount Magazine, there could be a little bit of snow there as well. But I don't expect much to come of this, and it's just too warm. It's not a great setup, but it has happened, and it will happen. There will be a couple spots that get a little bit of snow today. So if you happen to see any, go ahead and send your pics or video to ketv.com/chime-in. I'll definitely show it at 6 and 10 p.m. Tonight if we can get some snow video to ketv.com/chime-in. Now, that's about all I got for today. Some high elevation snow possible, rain for everybody else. What everyone's been focusing in on and what I've spent a great deal of time on is the forecast for the upcoming week. I think before our cold air moves back in, and in fact, I'll back this up because I think as we get through the day on Sunday, it's going to be fairly chilly. So tomorrow, temperatures in the 30s and 40s, that's at 3:30 in the afternoon. But then as we go towards Monday, I think the air mass may moderate. I think by Monday afternoon, pretty much everything is now showing this. Temperatures are going to get up into the 50s. And that's in advance of an Arctic cold front. Now, this Arctic cold front, it is coming. My question, though, is how far south does it make it? There's Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. temperatures dropping in northwest Arkansas and in the 40s elsewhere. This model has it in the 50s. But remember, don't take these models at face value. There's a good chance that this is not going to look exactly like this, even though it may be close. But as we go through Tuesday into Wednesday, the front may stall. And it may leave North Arkansas with the colder air, and South Arkansas with milder air, Central Arkansas just kind of here in between with temperatures just in that gross window between not mild and not very cold. It's just kind of chilly, and there could be some rain with this. But temperatures are going to be everything in the coming week, and how far south that Arctic air pushes really will determine everything. And that's through Wednesday morning, and this is a Euro. It's showing really the front struggling to push south, and I think that's a realistic possibility as we get through Tuesday into Wednesday. So a couple very different looks at your weather if you live in Monticello or if you live in Marshall. One spot maybe a little bit more mild, one spot quite a bit colder as you get through the early part of the week. So I'll back this up. It is cold up north. There is Arctic air, and it's going to be a substantial Arctic air mass that tries to move south as we go through the next week. But we have been watching this for about 7 days, and as it goes south, the Euro, as of recently, tries to hold it up just to the north as we get into Tuesday and into Wednesday, and really struggles to bring it very far south at all. It's more of a glancing blow for Arkansas rather than bringing it all the way through. And the GFS, of course, it's completely different. After Wednesday, brings it all the way through and puts the southern U.S. in the freezer as you get towards the late week time frame. So, of course, if you've lived here long enough, you know Arkansas usually always on the dividing line, and this time is no different. It's going to be no different, and we're going to try to figure out what is going to happen as we go towards the week ahead. And as soon as I load up my web browser here, I'll show you kind of what I've been looking at recently. I've been doing some YouTube videos. Hey, subscribe to the KATV YouTube page. There's some good content on there, historical and current, if you want it. So here's the last 6 runs of the Euro. It has had temperatures, a few days ago it had us starting Thursday, this coming Thursday, in the 20s. And over the last several runs, watch what happens after about 2 days ago. It starts warming us up, especially the last couple of runs. This was yesterday at this time. This is what it looked like for Wednesday night. Temperatures cold in the northern half of the state. The last couple of runs, remember, this is the same model. The last couple of runs warmed substantially, and that's kind of what I just showed you. The Euro wants to do that. The GFS wants to do something else entirely. So remember, this is raw model data. It's not a forecast. Raw model data for the week ahead. This is the Euro. And the Euro doesn't even want to take us down well into the 20s until Friday night. This would be a substantial change from the forecast that we have had. Basically doesn't bring really any substantial Arctic air into central Arkansas. It's more focused towards northern Arkansas and states to the north. And that would be one of the biggest model busts I have ever seen in my time doing forecasting, because you've got this, and this looks one way, and then this looks another way. And this is, it's just two extremes. And remember, this is raw model data, and I can almost promise you that highs for low 20s in Little Rock, they're not going to happen. And lows near 10, not going to happen. But you see the differences that we're working with here. Models are a tool for us to make our forecasts, and this is for later this week. You've got this one model that says, yeah, it'll be chilly, it'll be below average. We've been advertising below average temperatures, but nothing significant. And then this one just calls for the coldest stretch in years. And so the question is, what is realistic for Arkansas? And those are two deterministic model runs. Here's the ensembles, very cold. The Euro ensemble, very warm. If you'll remember back to your math days, box and whisker plots, the range in values on model data, it's just, the models are having a very hard time resolving what's going to happen. But we still have to make a 7-day forecast. So what is it going to be? What's realistic? Well, I think as we go through Monday, I think we still get into the 50s. Tuesday, I think the air will start to get cooler, and into Wednesday and Thursday, I still think we'll see temperatures in the low 40s with nights dipping close to freezing. And the big question will be, is there going to be any precip during this time? And I think there will be. Tuesday through Thursday, there will be some light rain moving through the state. And the big question will be, who's going to be cold enough to deal with freezing drizzle, freezing rain, sleet, maybe even some snow? We can't really answer that question until we figure out what this Arctic air mass is going to do. And at this point, it's a tough forecast. And so as we go towards, we've been watching this for 7 days, and for 7 days it backs up another day, backs up another day, backs up another day, and you see the National Weather Service blend of models now has temperatures at their coldest next weekend. So it's still 7 days out. And so since that's happened for 7 days, it leads me to believe that maybe this is going to be a glancing blow and not the coldest temperatures we've seen in quite some time. Euro Ensemble considerably warmer this morning. The GFS sticking to it. It says we're gonna get real cold. But I'd say focus on through the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame at this point. Your 5-day forecast temperatures are going to get colder. We are going to be below average. But if you're seeing posts about the coldest air in 30 years, I would caution you against that until we have a little bit more confidence in what's going to happen. So thanks for joining me this morning. I'll post this to YouTube, and this should be valid for at least 24 more hours unless there's some big change. One of those models is going to be wrong, badly wrong, I think. And so we'll see. In times like this, sometimes they meet in the middle. Both of them change a little bit and converge on a solution between the two. So I think below average temperatures are a good bet later this week. It will be cold. How cold is the big question. It's a question I'm going to try to answer tonight at 6 and 10 after looking at all the afternoon data. So thank you for joining me this morning. I'll see if any of you have any questions. William says, I see a possibility of snow in New Orleans next weekend. Houston, William, I caution you against that because if the Arctic air doesn't get that far south, the chance for snow evaporates for the far southern U.S. John Renard wants warm weather. Me too. Anthony in Atkins wants snow. I feel you, River Valley. Been a long time since we've gotten snow here in this part of the world. Central Arkansas in a big snow drought. Waco, Texas, having their snowiest winter since the 1980s. Can't buy snow here in Central Arkansas. It's almost like the Razorbacks during the first half the other night. So, all right, we'll do this again as weather permits, and stay with Channel 7, the team with most experience. And hey, like this page, follow the KATV Weather YouTube page as well. That's where this video is headed. Y'all have a good one. Have a good Saturday. Have a great weekend.